Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. All right, final hour, kicking off right now. On this Tuesday morning, thanks for hanging out with us and making this a part of your start. Don't forget, it is a Toyson Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday, so what the heck is grinding your gears? You can let us know and get it off your chest. Hit us up with a quick thought, 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, or you can join in on the Section 105 chats. Let's talk some more baseball to open up this hour. So yesterday, players chatting with the media, All-Stars. You know, it's their chance for media members to give them a talk. And obviously a big topic of conversation is potential lockouts and labor negotiations and such. But no surprise, shouldn't surprise anybody that the Stars, MLB Stars, are opposed to an MLB salary cap. Paul Skeens saying both sides kind of have their line that they're not going to cross. Whether that results in missing games or missing time, we'll see. But Soto also kind of said pretty generically, yeah, that sucks. It shouldn't be there about a cap.
Okay.
But he's also already gotten a lot of money.
Right.
So,
and he wouldn't get that in a salary cap.
Yeah. Bryce Harper, who has been vocal over the years, too, said the opportunity for players to get paid is what this is all about. We owe it to the guys that have come before us to do the same thing. So this probably should not surprise anybody. It's not really newsworthy in that. So
there'll probably be a work stoppage, but there was a work stoppage last time, but it happened in the middle of winter, and it got resolved in time. That doesn't mean that it will be resolved in time here, but there's a long ways to go.
Yep, definitely. So, and I know we've kind of highlighted it and talked about it. I do wonder if the strategy in this whole thing is going to be, okay, kind of a page out of the NFL latest one. Does Major League Baseball really target the younger players and the other non-star players? And I don't know if it'd be like if it's the same protocol as the NFL, where then like the players voted on it and that's why it passed. Because I remember like Aaron Rodgers and some of those guys were very critical of it. But call it sneaky or what, but it kind of really benefited some of the younger players where they got money or incentives right away, I believe.
This is kind of what happened in baseball with that last dispute. I'm trying to remember which exactly which dispute it was, but it was earlier this decade where like the main negotiators were opposed, but then the masses were like, let's go ahead with this. Mm-hmm. I think that potential is there. We're hearing from the biggest names right now, the ones that make the most money.
Yep. Do to make the most money in Paul Skeens' case.
Correct.
So.
He'll be fine. Mm-hmm. But what about the relievers that are going up and down and potentially could have their career finished? I don't know what they're going to think about that. But the union there seems to be stronger. Plus, I think there are more issues in the NFL that the players want altered, thus more room for negotiation than in Major League Baseball. This seems to be pretty straightforward, salary cap or none. I mean, there are more issues, but that's the big thing. In the NFL, for example, just to use a binary, there's the 18-game schedule. There's grass versus turf. There's the amount of like workouts and injury settlements and potential CTE future. There's all of these things. So which gets negotiated, which is the primary issue for the players. Here, if baseball could try it, there the NFL can figure, all right, well, we'll give you this, we'll take that, and then that in part weakens the union, part not because the union is weak, but because there's so many issues. You can't hold out on every single thing. Same for the owners, but the owners ultimately can get kind of what they want. Players can get a lot of what they want.
Yeah.
Not in Major League Baseball. It's kind of an either or. And there seems to be agreement on certain things like broader revenue from broadcasting. I don't want to say TV. Broadcasting, streaming, media rights, shall we say. So that's going to make it more of a either or proposition. I don't know. I still think the end result is something other than a salary cap. Something like, and I know this is a little fraught given what the NBA players just said, but something like a second apron. Mm-hmm. Maybe not with the consequences that come. Of course, maybe that's where Major League, I just thought of this. Does this make the players more resistant to something salary cap-esque? If they say, we're going to hold on the salary cap, but we're also not going to allow a pseudo cap like a second apron, because they see what happened in the NBA, and the players agreed to that. Now the players are like, this is wrong. Yeah, well, you said this was okay. So does the MLB Players Union go, we don't want to go down that path, agree to something that's less than, and then it inhibits us further down the road, so we're going to be absolutists on this? No salary cap at all. No restrictions at all. Mm-hmm. That would be a problem, because the owners are not going to allow no change at all. Some owners are probably fine with that, but a lot will not be, enough that you wouldn't have an agreement. Mm-hmm. So keep that in the back of your mind. That could be a problem going down the road, if the NBA players really are as upset about this as they seem to be.
Mm-hmm. Also with Major League Baseball and owners and union maybe having some disagreements comes with the Olympics, the Summer Olympics coming up in 2028 in Los Angeles. Jeff Passan this morning from ESPN with a piece that says Major League Baseball has gathered support from owners to allow big league players to participate in the Olympics for the first time, but disagreements with the Players Association over hotel rooms, tickets, and mandatory participation agreements have complicated their involvement in the 2028 LA Games. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a big read here. But again, Bryce Harper saying, quote, it's such a great opportunity for all the athletes to come together in all different walks of life, all different cultures. I love it. I think it'd be great. I hope it works out. I grew up watching the Summer Olympics. I was in one of the greatest eras of Olympics of all time. Michael Phelps, are you kidding me? There was nothing like it. This obviously comes on the heels of a very successful World Baseball Classic. So I hope they figure this out. This is the one thing that I get it. It's a business and all this stuff. The people that suffer the most are probably the fans, though, right? I mean,
if it didn't happen, if for some reason the MLB Players Association said, no, we don't like this, players are out. I don't think it's going to get to that. I don't think we're going to end up with an amateur, a bunch of amateurs like we've seen, and I don't mean that in a bad way. A bunch of amateurs like we've seen in other Olympics. It's based on a memorandum of understanding, an MOU. Probably seen that a lot in headlines lately involving the Iran war. That memorandum of the MOUs going around. Well, here's another MOU. That an MOU is not the final thing. That's the point. We're trying to figure out what to do. That a lot of this, I think, comes down to compulsory attendance. And do you end up on the restricted list? Do you lose the money if you don't take part? Kind of back to what we were talking about last hour with regard to the All-Star game. For the most part, players that don't participate in the All-Star game have a legitimate reason. They don't want to just head out, as much as a lot of players do want time off.
Right.
But how many would be that way with regard to the Olympics? A lot of players really want to take part. You saw a lot of players that really wanted to take part in the World Baseball Classic for their country. Not all. A lot didn't want to get injured. A lot didn't want their rhythm screwed up. And once again, this year, it happened with some players. Their rhythm got screwed up. Took a little while to get in on it. Now we're in the middle of the season. Because the dates on this, it's instructive to know how this is going to go, because this is going to be a bigger break. So 2028, the plan would be July 9th, season ends. So let's see, do the math. So it's 2026, July 9th was a Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Sunday, July 9th. Then you have the Home Run Derby the next day, Monday, the 10th, Tuesday, the 11th of July, 2028. So same schedule. And then 2 days off, Thursday, July 13th, 2028, starts the tournament the day before the opening ceremony. You know how the Olympics, the actual competitions usually begin like a day, sometimes two before. So that begins, that goes through July 19th, Wednesday the 19th. So it happens really front-loaded, and then the regular season begins again on July 21st, Friday the 21st. So basically you got like a weekend half plus of no Major League Baseball. So it's a fairly short period of time. The baseball thing will be done pretty quickly. In terms of pacing, that's pretty good. I like that. It's not like we're going to like the NHL downtime. But also, as this pointed out in this article from Jeff Passan, hockey is more endemic to the Winter Olympics than baseball is to the Summer Olympics.
Right.
So there you want to, they understand it. They draw out hockey throughout the entirety of the tournament. Baseball is back in the Olympics. We don't know for sure if it's always going to be around. So it's a shorter thing, necessarily. So I don't know. I see where there's more negotiating to come. I feel fairly confident it will be done. You think so?
For the Olympics part, I do. I feel like that's going to be done. I don't think, if you're Major League Baseball, you don't want to be embarrassed on the Olympic stage, right? I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. And you want to be able to put your best team out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you do it for the World Baseball Classic. I get this is like during the season, and World Baseball Classic is, spring training and such. But I feel like this is what it comes down to. Do you want to be embarrassed out there? I don't think they want to.
No.
And yeah, sure, injuries, whatever. But I think this is going to be, if anything, this is going to be a bigger boost for Major League Baseball to showcase your world stars on this. I mean, look how popular the World Baseball Classic is. Look how insanely popular that is. And this is the way to kind of do it. Okay, we do the World Baseball Classic. We don't have to wait 4 years. We could do it, another version of this in 2 years.
Yes,
with the Summer Olympics. So,
I mean, there's always discussion about, do they change when the World Baseball Classic happens? Does this is way too simplified, but do they get into a rhythm of Olympics 2 years, WBC 2 years?
Then I worry about, does it get overdone? You know what I mean?
It could, but if you can make it like a World Cup,
right?
There are ways.
That's a good example.
You got to find a way to thread it, and to each their own too. Like there's in soccer world, the two big ones. Most people would know. I mean, World Cup, duh, but the Euro tournament's pretty big. You have to be a little bit more of a soccer fan to understand it. But that does involve the big European teams, which are most of the best ones even in the world, even if it's restricted to Europe.
But I mean, even the Summer Olympics for soccer is huge.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
we still managed to make that happen. It's lesser than, but it's big enough. We want to see them win. Kind of like with basketball too. But then we haven't had like a World Cup. I mean, you have the World Basketball, but you don't have a World Cup of basketball, like the World Cup of soccer. Yet, and if Adam Silver has his way, but it's still not there. But maybe that is the solution, as opposed to alternating this and then the WBCs like every 3 years. And how do you make that all sync up just right? And I don't quite know. Maybe there's some way they can get into a rhythm on this. But you're also at the whims of the Olympics deciding to keep baseball. Because what if they're like, it's not really that competitive, didn't really draw as much. It's going to be big in the United States, but how big will it be 4 years later in Australia? I mean, I know Australia is a regular participant in the WBC, and then we've had plenty of Aussie players over the years. But will it be as big in Brisbane in 2032 as in Los Angeles in 2028? I don't know, because then if the Olympics go away, do you add in more World Baseball Classics? And keep in mind with hockey, too, they always seem to have a big World Cup-esque tournament but there's not a regular one where you can point to soccer and look at the history of the World Cup going back decades. There's always like Four Nations, the World Cup of hockey, or there's always these different versions. They haven't quite settled on something, and maybe that's not the point. But you don't always have that.
No, sorry. I was just looking at the 2020 Summer Olympics for Team USA. There's not a lot of big names on for Team USA, and they won the silver. I mean, Japan won it, which, I mean, Yamamoto and those.
Right. And it was in Tokyo, so of course.
Yeah. But like Todd Frazier, Joe Ryan's on there, Edwin Jackson, Scott Kazmir.
But the biggest players of the time, think back 5 years, and there's a fair number of similarities. But Aaron Judge was not. I mean, the biggest Americans weren't there at the time, but this also was not a big MLB moment.
Right. So like 2008 was the last one before that then.
Right.
So I'm just looking at Team USA, which was bronze that year. Strasburg was on there. But again, that was 2008. Matt Laporta.
Yeah. And it was in Beijing, so this was...
Dexter Fowler.
Yeah, this was not going to... No, it was not the biggest thing. No. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, no, I think they do solve this, ultimately. It's a little... not concerning, but a little consternating right now. But I think they'll figure out something to make it happen. It makes too much sense to not have Major League Baseball participants in all of these assorted countries that are going to be like passing notes. Japan hasn't qualified yet. They very, very likely will. So I suppose it's possible Shohei Ohtani and all of the other Japanese stars right now may not qualify, but I strongly suspect that they will be there. And again, Ohtani maybe has an injury in early 2028, can't play. Okay, but that could happen with any player too.
I could see team. I mean, yeah, I'm sure some people are going to wonder about would they allow pitchers to go there.
There's a bit of a question. I mean, we saw that with Mizorowski right now. What if Jacob Mizorowski is having his current season and getting ready to pitch for Team USA in the Olympics? Okay, suddenly that's kind of a thing.
I don't think you're going to see him. I don't think you're going to see any pitcher go 5-6 innings in these games.
No,
you're going to have maybe a couple innings. 1 or 2 innings. You'd have to have, I don't know what the roster size would be, but I know you could probably sub, like World Baseball Classic, right. They kind of sub into that. You're not going to see pitchers going to, and teams would not agree to that. So let's be realistic in that aspect.
Right.
But
they'd want to have them.
But if Major League Baseball is talking about, hey, if you don't play, you're going to get fined, well then, I mean,
at least on the roster in some capacity.
Right.
Because,
and if the owner's already said, yeah, that's cool. I mean, okay, again, that's the biggest obstacle that's already been cleared.
It's going to be more required because these are multiple teams. Here, with the All-Star game, it's a little easier, like the big Miz versus Sanchez debate. Well, I mean, yeah, I got answered in part because Mizorowski wasn't going to be available, but sure, okay, we'll have Sanchez pitch. Sanchez will pitch for the Dominican Republic if they, for the turn. So, kind of need you, Miz. Yeah. Otherwise, we're going to be lesser. So, yeah.
Is it fair to say, when it comes to, and I know we got to take a break, but we kind of saw it in the World Baseball Classic stage, where some of these players, they will be hell-bent, yes, I am playing for my country. Team Venezuela, those players will force their way, no, I am playing. They will try to do their best.
I think some of them, for sure.
Maybe more so than Team USA for some people.
Yeah, because right now, the qualifiers are United States, Dominican Republic, Venezuela. Mm-hmm. You use Sanchez as an example. So right now, you could have a Mizorowski versus Sanchez. That'd be really cool. Yeah. Type of game, depending on how everything gets seeded, if that were happening today. So those 3 are in. Japan probably will be. There's only 2 more, mind you.
Right.
6 teams total.
Yeah.
There's a chance there could be some pretty big players that are staying.
And it's not
home.
like there's a lot of games being played in this. That's the other thing, too.
Quick round robin. There's 2 divisions, 3 teams. Top 2 jump right, get buys to the semifinals. The other ones are quarterfinals after the round robin, and then, bam, it's done within a week. Mm-hmm. Under a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Baseball. That'll create some interesting scenarios. And again, the whole do you get injured thing. But we just went through that in the NHL. There were a couple notable injuries. I don't think it kept a Stanley Cup favorite. I know the Kings got in trouble, but I don't think the Kings were on their way to the Stanley Cup final prior to the injury. That I'm trying to remember who it was, but yeah, that sucks. But that was the thing with the Minnesota Wild. We kept thinking all the Wild players that were involved, like, oh gosh, please not an injury, please not an injury. Thankfully, they got through it, no problem. That's going to be a thing in 2028. Let's all get ready for that. I don't know if Jacob Mizorowski will still be Jacob Mizorowski in 2028. It's a long ways to go, but could be another guy.
Yeah,
and again, the cross currents of for which country, for your team. Because not every star Brewer is going to be Team USA, obviously. So you want the Brewers to win.
Well, I mean, Venezuela was Contreras and Chirio. I mean,
they're going to be playing for Venezuela. So your rooting interests are going to cross over a little bit. Let's just hope no one gets injured is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And we enjoy it.
Yep. All right, we got to take a quick break. Back with more after these few words. Tonight is the All-Star Game, 7 p.m.-ish. Because nothing ever starts on time. So is when things will get started. Your starting lineup for the American League is going to be Mike Trout batting the leadoff, Alvarez, Langoliers. We got Junior Caminero, who kind of surprised, I think impressed, put on a little bit of a show in the beginning parts of the home run derby last night. Bobby Witt Jr., Cody Bellinger, Ben Rice, Riley Green, and Ernie Clement. National League, Kyle Schwarber, Juan Soto, Freddie Freeman, C.J. Abrams, Max Muncy, Ozzie Albies, Brandon Marsh, Andy Pajes, and Drake Baldwin at catcher. So, Shohei Ohtani was selected as the NL's designated hitter, but he will not play in a game due to the injury. American League had a little bit more. 4 starters are going to be missing because Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Is not playing in the game. Nick Kurtz then was going to replace Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first, but then he suffered a thumb strain. So now Ben Rice is there. Aaron Judge and Byron Buxton were also elected in the starting outfield, but will not play because of injury. So it does take a little bit away, a little bit. But it's still the closest All-Star game to the real actual game, if that makes sense. Yeah. Where it's pitchers are not going to be throwing their stuff. It's pretty much fastballs and locations and stuff.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't want pitchers to be doing that, although it'd be kind of cool. But, we know that's not going to happen. But at least the guy, and you can't ask a pitcher, hey, just dial down like 30 miles an hour on your face. It's kind of just a little quick workout bullpen session for a lot of these guys.
That's what it is. So. And it'll still end up, as a result, pretty close to the actual thing. We're not going to get 18-16 for a game. No. It'll be like 4-2 or something like that, and it'll move along pretty decently. So yeah, I like that we haven't broken the game like in NBA world where we got to like the reinventing of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game has kind of stopped. Like we know what we've got here versus NBA constant tweaking.
I kind of like that they get to it right away. Like Sunday we had games. Monday's home run derby and media day. Tuesday game. Then give the guys Wednesday, Thursday off. And
the momentum continues.
Yes.
I like that.
Yep. Yeah, it's not this prolonged, drawn-out sort of ridiculous thing.
NBA.
Yeah, exactly. So does it really have guys time to maybe enjoy the All-Star break? The one thing I will be curious about, what was the big story from the All-Star game last year? What was it? Guys leaving after they were pulled from the game. Remember the whole did Ohtani leave the game early?
Oh, yes.
Because the home run thing at the end. So
literally But who are you going to keep around who's significant in that regard? Because they're injured.
Right.
So, I mean, I probably not too much of that. By the way, this thought crossed my mind as you mentioned how NBA draws out stuff.
Well, the NFL's king at drawing stuff.
Well, of course. Well, I mean, it's the NFL. But in even a more micro sense. So watching the NBA Finals, gosh, it seemed like the referees were slow walking everything. Was I wrong on that? But it felt like, oh, it's replay time. Okay, now we're just going to go over here. We're going to look at this. Take our time. And it's been a complaint broadly about the NBA of like games, like the last 2 minutes take a half hour, stuff like that. Is it just me, or does the NBA kind of seem to be, okay, I'll just jump there, a little full of itself collectively between players, marketing, refs? Everyone wants everything to go longer, and the pace seems to be blah. Whereas with almost seemingly Major League Baseball almost seems to be going a little quicker paced. Am I wrong on that, or is
no? I think you're right on that.
Yeah.
I think that was the concern about the ABS thing. Was it going to just make these longer? And it's been really quick with, I like the tennis. I call it the tennis replay.
Yeah,
because that's essentially what it is.
Yeah,
in or out. Did you see the number of what was? Let me see if I can find it. How the stats have been lining up so far with ABS challenges and overrules.
Not seen that. Do tell.
I got to find it here quick. See if I can find the numbers here. Might take me a little bit. But have you liked so far the first half of the season with ABS?
Yeah, it's fine, and I'll put it this way: if you go to Casual Fan and say ABS. Casual fan will probably go, oh, you mean that replay thing? Okay, yeah, a couple guys screw that up. That's probably where they're most going to notice, thinking about someone who used their ABS challenge in the first inning and some hot-headed player. If you say another replay system, VAR, I'm going to probably say this right now versus even a month ago, we're going to go, oh, that thing that keeps screwing up the World Cup, right? Because how many times have we seen VAR intercede on a goal, like, oh, this thing that happened 5 minutes earlier that really wasn't related to the play, that was very ticky-tacky, and that wipes off a goal that changes the result of that. And oh boy, that tells you a lot right there. If something gets a visceral reaction versus nonchalant, it's like an offensive lineman. The ones that get visceral reactions are usually the guys that are always getting holding calls. The ones you barely know about, probably doing their job pretty well. And I think that's the case with ABS. I would say, by and large, it has succeeded.
So these were some of the numbers. Major League Baseball umpires missed an estimated 14,441 calls during the first half of the season, with 3,217 of those bad strike zone and base path calls overturned upon review. The recently implemented ABS challenge system currently boasts a 53% overall overturn rate. Total challenges teams have used 1,928 challenges so far, 53%. So it's been pretty much 50-50 if you really kind of look at it. So ESPN, though, does have, I don't know if the umps really like it, but they have the umpire ABS challenge leaders. Percentage and that. And there is so overturned call. Let me see, overturned percentage. Is it Louis Krappa has a 33.3% overturn. He's been challenged 36 times, 12 have been overturned.
Of the Angel Hernandez Memorial Championship
I
here.
wish I could, I wish this was in almost a Excel so I can, who's got the most challenge calls on here, but it looks like 70 or no, there's an 87 on here. So when it says overturn percentage, you probably want lower, right? So you've got guys on here that are, the highest is 77.8%. C.B. Bucknor has, he was challenged 9 times, 7 times overturned.
Okay.
The next one was Andy Fletcher, 52 times, 38. 73.1%.
Okay. Well, maybe this eventually leads to better umpires.
Yeah.
Also, here's another example of how this changes the game. We've said, how many times have we talked about if you watch an NFL game from, say, like the 1970s, and you'll oftentimes see a really shaky catch that they just go ahead, they keep on playing. Touchdown! Did he like maybe have it in one hand, possibly? Like nowadays would be a no-brainer overturn, but touchdown. Okay, move on to the next play. Pre-replay, obviously. And also way pre-granular 4K, did his fingernail So the latest book I've been reading is the Bad Guys one, Jeff Pearlman's book on the 86 Mets.
Yeah.
And they keep referencing players. I mean, not keep, but it comes up as they're describing the season of like Mike Scott and his when the Mets are playing the Astros and all of the crazy directions his balls were going because, well, he was arguably scuffing a lot. But all of the balls and strikes that were like, this one's a ball, this one's a ball. Now it's a strike. And now it just dawned on me as I've been reading this book over the last week, if we had ABS, so many of those scenarios would have changed. I don't know if that changes that particular season, for example, but there were a lot of instances there where a guy gets really hot-headed, goes off. Mm-hmm. Well, instead, no, now it's just, challenge, boom, done. Probably sands down, no pun intended with Mike Scott, but it probably sands down a lot of the edge of that season because instead of just, we're going up against this ump and what is he doing in this pitcher? No, instead you just do the challenge. Mm-hmm. And it corrects the situation, too. I think we are in a better spot. Yeah, I know there's the charm of the old days. You also don't want to get too granular again. Again, like we've seen with VAR, like we've seen basketball replays, the dreaded college basketball, 52 seconds left, and which fingertip of which player touched it, and we spend 10 minutes figuring that out. But by and large, I think it's better to get it right if it's efficient, and ABS works for that.
So just a couple more numbers here really quick because I know we got to take a break. The Diamondbacks are pretty darn good at this. Their total success, they are second. Actually, Cincinnati and the Diamondbacks are really good. Cincinnati is number one overall with a total success rate of 64.4%. They are number one, 73% in pitcher-catcher success rate. When a pitcher-catcher challenges, 73%. Second in batter success, there's a big gap. 55.9%, but from a pitcher success to a batter, which kind of makes sense. Mm-hmm. Diamondbacks are second in pitcher-catcher success, third in batter success. Brewers are actually one of the worst. They're 25th in Major League Baseball. Pitcher-catcher success, 21st. Batter success, 23. Your Twins are one of the better ones. They're 6th overall. They're 9th best in pitcher-catcher success, 14th in batter success. So the catcher that has challenged the most, there's one catcher that has challenged over 100 times. A catcher has challenged over 100 times. There's one catcher, and that is William Contreras.
I knew it. I was like, it's a Contreras, right?
It is Contreras, 111. So how they have it, he's second best with 6. He's got the second most successful ones, but he also has 111 challenges. So like Tyler Stevenson has 62 successful challenges. He has 85 challenges. So he has a 72.9% rate. But Contreras has a 52.3 because he has challenged 111 times, and 58 of those were overturned.
Always challenging.
Mm-hmm. So
I'll be interested. I think a lot of us will, to see if we can figure out a pattern with who's successful, who's not. Remember, we heard a lot about the Brewers seemingly having a method early on in the season?
It was like only catchers could.
Yeah.
And it was only like a certain point in the game, like maybe after the 7th or 6th or something. But that hasn't been the case.
Got blown up pretty fast. Well, and then they had another way of doing it that Major League Baseball was like, nope, you can't do that. And
I think they were looking at the manager like they had like a card system or something like that.
Yeah. And so, what is there a logic? Is there a pattern in the analytical era of baseball? Is there an analytical approach, or is this really a gut feel sort of thing? Is it a philosophy sort of thing?
Helping out your pitcher, sort of,
Yeah. What is that? Because if it is analytical, we'll figure it out pretty soon, and everyone's going to have a comparable rate. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe not for this one.
Really quick, the catcher with the best percentage is JT Realmuto. So, I mean, where did it go? Where did my 79.5%. So 39, he's challenged. 31, he's been successful.
That's a pretty solid one, too, so that makes sense.
Yep. All right, quick break. Back with more in just a couple minutes. We are a little behind, so we'll have to take another break here before we get to some picks. We don't have a lot of picks because, well, we got an All-Star game, but we do have a World Cup game.
Yeah, kind of a big deal.
This afternoon. So winner goes to the final this weekend. Mm-hmm. And so we'll get to that pick as well. France and
Spain.
Spain. So, but yeah, we'll get to that here in just a skosh. I did see ESPN's been doing their top 10 countdown for position groups for the NFL. They did off-ball linebackers. Edrin Cooper did come in at number 9, people. So there is a Packer linebacker in the top 10. Zaire Franklin was in the category of others receiving votes. But what they had to say about Edrin Cooper, he has size, speed, and run and hit ability that few have. A veteran NFL defensive coach said he can really go. It's his mind. A high-ranking AFC official said he sees it and he can anticipate. Quay Walker actually finished as a honorable mention. So, but,
very good.
Yeah, can't believe 2 weeks from tomorrow training camp opens for Green Bay. So
wow, let's see. Well, that makes sense. July
29th, I think. That'd be July 29th.
Yeah.
Couple teams are going to be opening up here in a week and a half because, Hall of Fame game.
Right.
You got to get the season started off. So.
You kind of have to, so.
I think, who's the team that starts first? It is July 22nd, Arizona. Atlanta, the 24th, teams with new coaches. Baltimore, Buffalo, 21st. Carolina, the 21st. Bears start the 25th. Okay, yeah, so. Love it. It still doesn't feel like it is going to be here, but it is what it is.
Hey, it's your most favorite time of the year. You get to analyze players.
I might actually be able to cover one.
Ooh.
Yeah, so hopefully more details on that. But
hey, you need to come up with a list, go back, figure out who has the Lindsey Pipkins Memorial Unsung Player of the Year list historically. I actually was trying to find a list of that, and I could not find that.
Yeah.
You need to get that list up somewhere so we can have a leaderboard or something like that.
Checklist to see how much I hit on it.
Yeah, we need to okay, here's what we need here in the studio. I know I'm decorating for you, which is always a dicey proposition. But have a plaque, how they have little nameplates.
Yeah, like our WBA one with the years that were remembered.
Exactly. Yeah, and so go back throughout history.
Employee of the Month plaque.
And there's a picture, a bronzed picture of Lindsey Pipkins at the top.
Yep.
Lindsey Pipkins Memorial. Again, he's alive, doing well, best as we could tell. We just like saying memorial because it sounds fancier. Then nameplates, none awarded for given years where there were none awarded.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yep. No, that's a good idea. Really good idea. I don't have time to dive into this, but Pat Ford listed as a piece out, SI.com, the best college football players of all time. And it's already sparking debate. So, number 1 was Jim Brown. 2, Herschel Walker. 3, Barry Sanders. 4, Jim Thorpe. 5, Cam Newton.
Wait, so this is the ranking of the top
college football players.
College football players
ranking
of all
the 50
time,
best college football players of all time.
Makes sense.
So, some are debating, though, it doesn't do enough to go back in the early days like the Ivy League.
Right. Well,
and it really kind of got going.
Yeah.
Or started to get going. So, there is, Charles Woodson's on here, but there is a more full-on Packer. Paul Hornung came in at 37. So Steve McNair's 35.
Aaron McNair. Well, yeah, I remember that. So
remember, these are college years, not how they developed into the pros.
Hence Herschel Walker, number 2. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Herschel Walker dominated at Georgia. So, yes, that makes sense.
Devontae Smith, 28.
Wow.
So there is some new. Oh, Reggie White's on here at 23. Oh. So
Devontae Smith was pretty good in college. So yeah.
Ricky Williams at 20. I did not see Ron Dane. So if anybody was wondering,
really,
I did not see Ron Dane on the list.
Mixed in too much with all of the other Badger running backs.
Maybe
it's been a lot.
I'm double checking. I did not see him. So yeah, Matt Leinart, Tommy Frazier, Steve McNair. Yep. Billy Sims, Travis Hunter. Okay, Sammy Baugh is probably the oldest one on here.
Yeah.
Walter Payton, Mark. A lot of running backs. A lot of running backs. Johnny Manziel's on here.
Jonathan Football. But again, at the time, remember in the colleges, it was pretty good. So that seems to make sense so far.
All right, final break and then picks. We'll be right back. All right, let's jump right into it. It's time for some picks. Let's do the World Cup. Are you going France or Spain?
I'm going to go France. Ride Mbappe. saw CONCACAF referees are going to be in this one. Think of like when shady referees from a certain conference are on a bowl game.
Okay, yeah.
Get ready today. But, I think France is going to survive this one.
How about Argentina and England in the other one? I'll get your pick on that one.
It's the Battle of the Falklands War, 1982. Okay. I keep waiting for England to underwhelm, and they keep pulling it off. This is where, again, if you're going conspiracy mind, which the way this World Cup's been going, I understand. It sure seems like there is a desire to get Argentina to the final, if only to get Messi to the final. But I think Argentina gets by anyway, just on ability.
Okay.
So I'm predicting a France-Argentina, which would be from a star standpoint, Mbappe versus Messi is the one I think most people would want to see. Just the binary of those two. I most want to see France-England from a rooting standpoint, but I think it will be France-Argentina in the final this weekend.
I'm going to go France, too, for tonight. And honestly, I was probably going to go Argentina as well.
Yeah.
So.
And for what it's worth, since the next time I'll be on the show would be after the final, I think France wins the World Cup.
Where were they on odds before it started?
Right at the top.
Right at the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what? This is the first time I think
was the top four in the
have made the top four. It's like a chalk win in the NCAA tournament. This is the first time this has ever happened. You are getting the best of the best.
Nice.
This time around, but I do think it'll be France that ends up hoisting the.
All right. So winner for the All-Star game tonight plus the MVP.
Let's say, gosh, these things are so. Who's had the longest streak going, or at least the most amount of recent success?
The last 5 has been the American League has won 3 of the last 5. It looks like.
Okay.
Yes.
But I'll go National League tonight. Kyle Schwarber, why not?
I thought about doing exactly that too, but I'll switch it and go Abrams.
Okay. So, sure.
A National winning it in Phillies Park. We'll ride with that one.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of, this one, it's hard to predict MVP. You need, whoever's going to hit a home run is probably going to be the MVP.
Right. At a certain time, and it's the game winning one. I think maybe given last night, Schwarber coming up short, not his fault, but
right.
Walker's exceeded him. And how passionate Philly fans are, I could see a bit of sentimentality.
Or maybe Harper, since he didn't advance.
Yes. If they're close enough to being MVP.
Is Harper on the roster?
He's in like that.
Is he the.
What is it? The term I saw? It's the. I'm blanking on it, but it's that term for basically the like it's almost like the fan icon vote.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Got that one?
Yep. Because Verlander is the American League one.
Right. Yeah. So I think if they're close enough to being MVP, they're going to get it. Short of someone being so clearly, I'd like, they hit 3 home runs, something weird.